Ashen is an open world action RPG set in a world that has no sunlight. So as a player, you enter this world that's just in complete darkness, and suddenly there's a big explosion and there's light in the world. The world is kind of getting reborn, and you find yourself traveling through this world and kind of figuring out why this has happened and learning about the world as you go. It's a stamina-based combat action RPG, so if you're familiar with games like Dark Souls, you'll understand Ashen kind of from the get-go. It's open world, you can kind of explore, do things your own way. It's story-driven, and it's passive multiplayer. So you could run through the world and just run into someone, connect to someone, play it in multiplayer, and go your separate ways again. Or you can play it on your own as well.
The unique Kiwi atmosphere that we have in Ashen is something that's almost infused into the team. It's kind of like our bedrock, it's our platform that everything else is built on. I mean, the valley that we work in, that our studios are in, is surrounded by massive green hills, and you can see snow-covered mountains in the distance, and we've got a really rich variety of stuff that even folks who come and visit and who were like, wow, Ashen's got this interesting, mysterious fantasy nature to it, come here and they're like, oh, this is what it is immediately. So it's almost like in the air around us, we can't really escape it, which is kind of interesting. It wasn't really our initial inspiration to make a Souls-like game, so to speak. For us, we certainly want to make an accessible game. And so that's why we chose passive multiplayer, to essentially cut the Dark Souls experience and to bring stamina-based combat into a more accessible place where more people can learn from it, more people can experience that high-risk moment, that scary moment, but then you've got a friend to help you out. We have so many examples of people who've just died and they didn't realize someone else is in their world, and so they're waiting to get resurrected, and the other person will come along and kill all the bad guys and resurrect them, and that's just like such an amazing emergent moment for those people that we couldn't program, we couldn't cause, but it kind of shows the accessibility right from the start, that you're not on this knife edge of, I might die at any second, because you've got a helping hand next to you. And I think that's the biggest thing we could do for accessibility.
The control scheme itself quite accessible and quite responsive for players that are just jumping into the game, that have never played this kind of game before. In our case, it's really collaborative, trying to help each other out, and kind of, I think that kind of eases the curve for players just coming in like fresh off the bat, just from other fantasy games. Game Pass is exciting for us, and as a game designer, just having, I suppose, a lot of people just jump into your game.
It's intended that you run into the game and naturally just people run past you, and Game Pass ensures that people will have that, ideal experience.
I think the gap that Ashen filled is really that of kind of pushing passive multiplayer further, keeping players even more immersed in the world, not kind of drawing them out of the experience, but really keeping them in there while keeping it collaborative. You run into the world, it should be as seamless as possible, and so we felt that looking at games like Journey, which kind of popularized passive multiplayer, like that whole collaborative aspect that Journey had, we wanted to bring that into Ashen and then build on that as well.
So we originally started talking to the folks at ID at Xbox very early on. I think we were maybe 3 months into development, something like that, when we put out a tweet. It got picked up by some news outlets, and then the ID at Xbox team picked it up. We very quickly started talking to them, working on what the game concept was, and showing them more of the game. And I think it took us about a year to sign a deal with Xbox, so to speak, but they were really supportive, and since then, even more supportive. To be featured at the Xbox briefing is just amazing for us. I think it's an absolute life achievement for anybody in the studio to have their work up on the big stage at E3. We were a part of the Xbox briefing in 2015 and 2017. I think the 2015 one essentially put us on the trajectory to 2017, which is very interesting, where being there set the stage for what we were doing. 2017 was almost like the fruition of that all coming to maturity and us really kind of flexing our muscles as to who we were as a studio, and it's something we can just never do ourselves. I think being part of the ID at Xbox showcase inherently changed the game.
I didn't believe it until I saw it. It runs so great on Xbox One X. It's a great platform, I think, for us to work on. It's a console that has got so much potential. It's like you playing on PC or playing on Xbox One X. You wouldn't even notice the difference.
It would be in 4K. You know, there are a whole bunch more effects and lighting options and all those kinds of things turned on.
We can really push a lot of the technical things we've done in Ashen, especially with our art style. We can push that forwards, and it doesn't affect the experience on the console. So yeah, I'd say for us it's been great, and I think a lot of people will be pleasantly surprised at how great it runs.
It's almost surreal that it's launching, to be completely honest. The whole point of it is that you put it in players' hands, and that's the most exciting thing we could do. I'm Derek Bradley, Game Director on Ashen, and we're really excited for you all to play Ashen when it comes out on Game Pass.